Welcome to Subramani. Does your spending give you joy, or are you spending to live up to the Jonases? Are you spending to show off? Are you spending to say, look, I have arrived at here, right? So I now need to have a car which costs at least 80 lakhs, a house which costs at least 6-7 crores in a metro like Mumbai. I need to take vacations to expensive locations, may not be very popular, but very expensive vacations to show off to the world that my passport has 130 stamps or 150 stamps or whatever, right? Why do you do it? Ask yourself that question. Are you doing something which gives you pleasure, or are you doing something because it is in somebody else's bucket list, right? So you could be a very rich person, be very simple, and be very happy attending not very expensive music concerts in Chennai. Or you could be saying, oh, I have enough money, so I will fly down to Germany to listen to a music show which is not likely to come to India ever. Or maybe I'll fly down to Singapore, right? So doing both of that is okay, because money is no longer the deciding factor on where you want to spend. You could buy expensive cameras, expensive cars, yacht, club membership, right, airplanes, whatever, depending on the amount of money that you have. But I look at it this way: buying a yacht is perhaps the easiest job. Then maintaining it, making sure that you have somebody who is doing the cleaning and maintenance at all is far more difficult. I think it's better to have a friend who has a boat than to have a boat yourself. I should send this to my friends who have a boat. So you decide what you want to do based on your happiness. It can't be based on somebody else's happiness. Somebody else wants to see the world but you don't want to. That's perfectly all right. Maybe you want to attend bhajans, and it's not a very expensive thing. Maybe you have simple hobbies. Somebody has flying as a hobby and you have running as a hobby, though some people try to make running also an expensive hobby, but I'm just saying this, right? So it's important for you to know what gives you pleasure, right? So maybe you have great pleasure in meeting friends, talking with them and just chatting with them, and you don't need to go to places which are really esoteric, right? Or go to places where you want to put it on Facebook. Facebook is no longer the in thing, but whatever, right? Maybe Instagram. So are you trying to live up to the Jonases, or are you doing it for yourself? I know people who will live in a small house but drive a great car. I know people who live in a great house but not own a car, right? I know all these kind of people. I mean, people with 50-70 crores turnover, net worth, and not owning a car is rare, right? And I know such people. So they just choose that, okay, I don't need a car. Whenever I need a car, I'll use somebody's car. In the sense, I'll use my son's car, daughter's car, or I'll take an Ola or an Uber, whatever suits me, right? So all kinds of combinations of people exist. So the question to ask is, are you getting pleasure in what you are using your money for? Are you getting pleasure in buying things? It's very easy to buy things today, right? You go at 8 p.m. and order something. By 8 a.m. it is delivered to you at your doorstep. Amazon and its ilk have done a great job. Or eating something. Whenever you want something, just go to Zomato, order it, and it is delivered to you. So it's not a great effort required to do any of those things. So is it giving you pleasure, or are you doing it just because it is available? These are questions which you have to answer for yourself, right? For example, I don't have television, I don't have newspaper, so therefore I don't pay for cable TV. Cable TV in India is not a very expensive thing, but when you have cable TV, you tend to aimlessly switch channels and wonder what you're watching, and after an hour or something, you find that you have not watched anything, right? So I just did away with it, and I'm not missing. Last 10 years, I have not paid anything for cable or not paid anything for newspapers. There is enough streaming that is happening. You can go online and read paper or whatever else. I am convinced that whatever news is important which should reach me, reaches me through, say, Twitter, right, or X, as Mr. Musk likes to call it. So some of these things you have to check whether it gives you pleasure. Like if you're a smoker, largely smoking is an addiction. So I don't think there's any great pleasure in smoking or drinking or whatever. I'm not getting into right, wrong and things like that. Ask yourself every time you spend money, is it giving you pleasure? Because you've reached a stage when your day-to-day needs are met very comfortably. Maybe your annual income is about 1.5 crore and you're spending maybe 50,000 rupees on your food, right? So it's an insignificant portion of your income. So So it's not something that you have to think of what to eat. You don't have to worry, oh, this fruit is expensive. We have gone beyond all that, right? So you don't have to worry about any of those cost related thinking, whether you should do or not do. So same thing is, before any expenditure, ask yourself, does this give me pleasure? To me, buying new clothes is absolutely no pleasure, right? So I've been using same shirts, this vest, etc. for a pretty long period of time. This vest is at least 4 years old. And I am using it. This kurta could be older than that perhaps. So if buying clothes gives you pleasure, by all means buy it, because there are many Indians to whom you can hand over your old clothes and they will be very happy with that. So do it. So whatever gives you pleasure, so ask yourself, is it giving me pleasure? Is it not giving me pleasure? Going to the gym and becoming healthy, somewhat it is, maybe it's not pleasure, it's a necessity, but after you start going, you may start getting the pleasure of being lighter, being faster in your running, being faster in your swimming, etc. So that might be giving you pleasure, but after some time. So find out what you must do. Those you have to do, right? You don't have a choice. You have to make your bed. Maybe you can have a servant to make your bed, but normally we end up getting up and making our bed, brushing our teeth, having breakfast. Those are not things on which you are looking for pleasure. Those are things which you must do. Pleasure is in what you eat, and pleasure, I mean the pleasure has to be long term. It can't be a 30-second pleasure like a sweet, right? That's 30-second pleasure on your mouth and 30 years on your waist. So no, not that kind of pleasure. Real lasting pleasure which you think you are happy doing, and therefore you are doing whatever it is: travel, music, singing, dancing, anything that you want to do. Maybe learning music. I know a lot of friends now who are learning to sing, learning to play instruments, right, at a late stage in life, maybe in their 50s and 60s. They are all doing that. So find out what gives you pleasure. With improved healthcare, good food and all that available, get to a dietitian, see what is good for you, do all that, and look after your health, look after your money anyway. So see what gives you pleasure. If it doesn't give you pleasure, just jump it. That is the advantage of being financially free. Do what you like and what gives you pleasure, not things which you must do. If you have got rid of the things which you must do, you are financially independent. Whether you want to retire early is optional. Thank you.